Hey, how's it going, guys? Captain Kuba here. So, collectibles, those little tasks developers give us to keep us busy. They really don't add anything to gameplay nor the story of the game. They are simply busy work, and God of War is not excluded from this game trope either. You collect items and then sell them to Brock and Sindri for high silver. These items include masks and Alpine War relics, to name a few. Once again, they are not that important. But there is a set of collectibles in this game that could be more important. In fact, I think they might be foreshadowing future characters in the series. The collectibles I'm talking about are Atreus' toys. I'm giving these collectibles more importance because first, they are inspired by the characters from Norse mythology, and second, they were most likely carved by Faye herself, who as we all know had the ability to see into the future. You can find these toys in the introduction level of the game, but before we begin, I should say that I already talked about one of his toys, Atreus' ship. I won't be talking about it here, but if you're interested in that topic, you can click on this link here. With that out of the way, let's begin. I think it's best to start with the least important one, the troll. This toy has been in the game since the E3 2016 demo. I think its purpose is foreshadowing Atreus' first big enemy, the troll in Faye's garden. Up until this point in his life, Atreus lived under the protection of his parents. While this is still partially true, fighting the troll marked his first steps into becoming a man. I believe Faye created this toy as a means to warn Atreus subconsciously of his first big threat. Next we have Slipnear, the 8-legged horse born from the union between Loki and a giant's horse. Aside from the unusual birth story, there's a few more interesting details about this character. First, he appears in many of the shrines left by the giants, always depicted as Odin's trusty steed. I'm guessing these images are showing us another timeline, one in which Ragnarok already happened and Odin took control of this horse. Another interesting detail is the toy itself. Everybody knows that Slipnear has 8 legs. This becomes clear when you see him in the shrines and also when people talk about the character and always refer to him as Slipnear, the 8-legged horse of Norse mythology. So if it's so clear that Slipnear has 8 legs, why does this toy only show 6? Could this be the son of Slipnear? Or could it be a younger Slipnear, one who still needs to develop 2 more legs? Or perhaps this horse was created by Atreus to rival Slipnear. I know it sounds odd, but there's simply not a 6-legged horse in Norse mythology. I'm particularly excited about this find since we know Atreus shares a deep connection with animals. I already made a video theorizing how this connection could get stronger by the next game with the help of Faye's bird, and it looks like Slipnear will also play a big role in it. Lastly, we have the toy that I think is the most important one, the god Ullr. Now, even though this one is the one I'm most excited to talk to you guys about, I have to admit that it falls in the side of being a little far-fetched. So how did I come to the conclusion that this toy was Ullr? What I think it gives it away are the 2 items on his hands. He seems to be holding 2 spears. Now when it comes to famous Norse mythology spears, Odin's is the first that comes to mind, but he only has 1. And since there's not a character that wields 2 spears, I have to say that this is probably Ullr, the god known for being a skier. Perhaps these are not spears but ski poles. And yeah, I know that ski poles aren't really a part of this character's design, but I think it would be cool to include them since they will obviously help him get around and could also be used as 2 spears. I know it sounds weird to have a guy skiing all over Midgard, but think about it. What is the event that precedes Ragnarok? Fimbulwinter. With Fimbulwinter upon us, skiing just became a very likely way of getting around the realm. Now you might think this god is kinda wimpy, but mythology for smart people describes him as an excellent archer, hunter, skater, skier, handsome, warlike, and a specially apt deity to invoke before a duel. I know I'm getting into prediction territory, but I think it would be cool to have him as an ally, maybe even voiced by Nathan Fillion, as some rumor seems to indicate. But why am I making such a big deal about these toys? Even though they might point to some Norse mythology characters, it doesn't mean that they'll show up in the next game, and that's certainly true. But I think it's also important to know who made these toys, and what their purpose is. Now, only 3 people have ever lived in this house, Atreus, Kratos, and Faye. Out of all of them, which one is the most likely to have created these toys? It couldn't have been Atreus since he doesn't really know how to use a knife. At the same time, it couldn't have been Kratos because he doesn't care about the entertainment value that comes from playing with toys. He only cares about survival, strategy, and combat. That leaves us with Faye. Cory Barlog has said many times that the race of giants are considered the artists of this world, so crafting wouldn't be so hard for her to do. She also knows the big players of this world, which would allow her to make accurate representations of the characters she uses as inspiration for the toys. If I am right in saying that Faye is the one who made these toys, we should pay close attention to them because they might be hinting at the future. Cory Barlog has said that Faye is one of the most powerful characters in the God of War universe. This level of power was seen at the end of the game when Atreus realized that she had predicted every step Kratos and Atreus took before they even set out on their journey. With this level of prophetic abilities, one should suspect she has done the same somewhere else, perhaps with Atreus' toys, as a means to familiarize him with the people he will meet, or even warn him of future enemies. By now you must be thinking I'm crazy for thinking too much about this game, but listen to what Corey Parlock said in an interview with IGN.
If I'm going to do anything now, I'm going to make sure that there is always valid, like a valid sort of indicator for anything, so that you could go back and you could look at it. So much so that if we do a second game or a third game, you're going to go back to the first one and you're going to be like, oh my God, that was there. Right? I have so many things in there that are just setups for much later and much later and really far later. So I'm a lunatic.
So yeah, I'm gonna suspect everything is a clue for the next game. Anyways, what do you guys think? Could Atreus' toy predict the future? Leave a comment below with your best theory. I also want to give a big thanks to my members, Steve Fack, Ron Solo, and Kanaruhi. If you enjoy my content, consider adding yourself to the Kaptain Kuba battalion. This will give you cool perks like the ability to choose which games I livestream, getting shoutouts at the end of my videos, and even getting a personal answer to your theories and questions in a dedicated video at the end of the month. If any of these perks sound cool to you, just click the join button. With that said, this will be all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of Olympus.
For anything, so that you could go back and you could look at it. So much so that if we do a second game or a third game, you're going to go back to the first one and you're going to be like, oh my God, that was there. Right? I have so many things in there that are just setups for much later and much later and really far later. So I'm a lunatic.